as one does.
Hello, and welcome to Jarviskjir Narashiro Nights. I nearly said here be heroes. Ha! Well, wouldn't that be
just rude? Just
wouldn't that
salt
have
in the
been,
wound.
Wouldn't that have
Salt
been
in the
funny?
wound.
I can't do
Too
that
soon.
because they're dead.
Too soon, Ollie. Too soon.
And soon these characters will be too.
That's very likely. We are playing
There's
God.
no way you're going to die because today's episode is based on diplomacy, which, as I pointed out on Twitter, was what you were meant to be doing from the start. Only took you 26 episodes to get there.
Hey, someone wanted us to fight things in order to level up.
You should have been fighting the matriarchy, William!
We were! You wasn't enough, apparently!
Everyone knows when you're fighting the patriarchy, there will be a boss fight at the end. When we're ready. A raid battle, some would say. Alright. So, this is actual Rakaf cosplay.
I'm very good at it.
Yeah. Last time, you did some things, but in the end, you ended up convincing the leader of the Weavers, the Ronin, to essentially pledge the Weavers to you and Narashiro, well, Narashiro, comma, you, as a independent slave army that would work for, in theory, would work for the Treaty of the Deep, not Narashiro themselves. So it would be a free, sort of almost independent nation of freed slaves. That's kind of the idea. Huh?
We're making the United Nations Armed Forces presently.
You went and checked with the current leader of Narashiro, which is your girl, you remember the name of, and have not forgotten, Kato. Who was like, I'm not in 100% okay with this, but I trust you. If this can get past the treaty, this is kind of more the treaty's decision than ours. Also, we should probably talk to the treaty, because we haven't since we blew up. And that's really what your job will be, to convince the Treaty of the Deep, which is the unified races of the Underdark. It's their United Nations, quite literally, that the Weavers could be a useful army for the war against the surface.
Also, we're going to speak to the treaty on our own terms. We're not going to be super affiliated with the rest of our
Yes,
right?
You're kind of going as semi-independent diplomats, but you know you're still going to be representing Narashiro, whether you like it or not. But you're not going as
we just don't have
Narashiro's
the support
diplomats.
of Narashiro, essentially.
Yes, exactly. You're really going about the Weavers, but maybe making some diplomatic connections and setting some places would be quite sensible. To do this, you renounce the Roninship of the Ronin. Her name is Hinonio. Why I remember her name and not Kato's? Who freaking knows? But I do.
Who knows, really, honestly.
Hinonio sounds like a tasty treat, like a food. Not that she's a tasty treat, but it sounds like it could be a dessert of some kind.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, maybe.
B, yes.
Oh, right, because she is actually like a weirdly distant relative of mine.
She's actually vaguely related to Voss in more culture and mantra than anything else.
She's your stepsister.
Oh no!
The setup.
That's a pre-stream. That's sorry, chat.
Happens all the fucking time. You unprofessional babies. I'm also convinced that the word baby and its bastardizations are now the height of humor, so get ready for that. speaking... Are you alright? You okay? Yep. Are we ready? Can I keep going? Okay.
You're good.
In doing that, you actually did a whole sort of public ritual, basically forgiving Hinonio and uniting the Weavers. This is actually gonna happen off camera. This basically happened in between last session and this session, because I'm sure you would have talked in character for 4 hours about all the ins and outs, but really, it just happens. You gather the Weavers, which would have been its own frickin' process. And
I mean, we were chasing them around. We had to put a basket over one of their heads so they didn't spook when we caught them. It's a whole ordeal, honestly.
Hinonio was forgiven by the state, and you basically tell the Weavers this is the new deal. The arrangement has been changed. Pray do not change it any further, sort of deal.
Something that I was actually intending to do in that situation was to reinstate her as a samurai, but also reinstate her, like, bring her back into the fold of House Nor.
Yes, yeah, that was one of your ideas. Yeah,
like, give her a name, basically.
Did you okay that with your family, or just doing it?
They're there.
And they're
in the city.
And, like,
but he doesn't ask.
That is a conversation that, like, if it's a problem, whatever, but...
It's a one-sided conversation that you don't really get a core response one way or another, but...
Yeah.
Hinonio Nor, say that 5 times fast, is now... is reinstated as a samurai, with the plan of her leading the Weavers as this independent freed slave force. Great. Now, is you planning to go to Kavanari, the newly built city in which the Treaty of the Deep does its own business? I guess Brussels. Under Brussels. So, what kind of prep work do you want to do before that? Because I know you guys tend to do prep work. I could have started if you want Beetleback going, but someone probably has some errands to run.
Good question. Do we have errands to run? We should get potions.
Another question is whether you want to take Hinonio with you.
We're gonna need to, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the Weavers need a direct representative.
He's essentially, she's unfortunately gonna have to be a diplomat.
She's a prop, though. She would tell you, I don't want to talk to these people.
Yeah, she won't have to. This is going to be a situation where she stands there and looks slightly menacing, and that's her purpose.
That was like in unison. Wow.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
I'm not gonna go really buy anything or do much. The only thing I'm literally gonna do is just talk to the fam and be like, hey, keep an eye on things. Like, Lady Fire is gonna do what she's gonna do, but more so I'm talking to Rokos.
Yeah, you can't really control. You don't know what. So they've been here for like a week. And you're not really, like, okay, the reason why House Nor has come to Narashiro is your wedding. It's clearly that's not happening right now. So they're still here. And Lady Fire, especially, is not often in your house. So we don't really know what she's doing. You won't get an answer if you ask. But Rose Coast can absolutely take control of your little, I guess convent is the best way to describe your faction.
Have any of the people in my little spy network that I've kind of been building up spotted Lady Fire doing anything?
No, and you doubt they would be able to.
Yeah, that's kind of my suspicion. But
she's kind of beyond them.
Yes,
you do actually get a little bit of information, because this would be something that I imagine Rakaf would check. Almost a little bit of a DM going, hey, you might have forgot.
Probably did.
Rakaf getting information about the lower parts of the city, where the what are they called? The Choldriff, the spider people.
The Chitines.
Chitines. Choldreth are a type of Chitine, that's why. Okay. Whether Chitines are taking control, last time you were there, it looked like they were setting up to stay, and they even said as much.
Mm-hmm.
But your scouts are saying there's very little of them to be found. The ones that are still around are clearly working independently. The kind of almost united faction of them have left.
Uh-oh.
They didn't go and look into it too... You know, your spies will never go into as much detail as you could. But, from what they can tell, they have left.
There's a giant spider lady out on the loose in the outer areas, and the spider people have left the city. Not suspicious at all! Not suspicious at all, anybody! Nothing to see here!
I will store... 1 healing word, 1 cure wounds, and if Una is okay with it, I will grab another haste to give to Voss.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have another haste one on you, and he's got the healing word and cure wounds ones very obviously labeled with giant letters with horrible handwriting. When he's written it in Undercommon, just so everyone can read it, he's put it on his belt.
I was gonna say they're very visible. DM, everyone knows where these are.
Yeah.
This is Rofi's overdoing it because he knows people can't read this stuff.
Yes.
In addition to that, a week has passed.
Yeah,
So we do have 4 more potions of healing.
Fuck yeah.
Generated by the garden. So everyone can write 1 on their character sheet.
I also still have that Revivify stored. I'm keeping that stored for obvious reasons because that costs a lot.
Yes.
Fair.
Don't want to accidentally unscrew that.
I'm gonna go buy some additional health potions. How much are health potions again?
Regular healthies are 50 gold and quite
50,
easy to acquire.
Cool.
There are minor rumblings that this might be a great time to put better regulations into unchecked potion sales. But those are only rumblings.
I don't like that at all.
That's the kind of thing your tavern would tell you more than anything.
It's the kind of thing that we could actually work in your favor, in theory, if we politically maneuver it as such.
Yeah.
I will... I'm just gonna buy 5.
You can... Regular healing potions in Narashiro, especially considering you've got the benefit of time, you can pretty much buy as many as you want. Now, eventually you'll start putting them on the beetle. But
I'm just doing math. So I'm just gonna hold on to those for the moment.
I'm also going to cast my new spell. You can read that.
No, I can't. You overestimate my power.
Divination.
I could be using it to, look into our mission and what we're going to be doing. But instead, I would like to get a gift for Lady Vyra. And I'm going to use this to say, what gift would please her?
Oh.
The heads of her enemies.
Within my ability to actually give.
I think as much as it would be a massive disappointment, the answer is no gift at all.
Okay.
I think you'd be very excited.
Not even a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen. It's just don't get her anything. You won't like it.
No,
just don't. It's better if you don't do anything at all. You're doing great, sweetie. Keep it up.
The omen is just the sound from the Price is Right failure horn, echoing through the thunder there.
It's just this whisper of just... No, don't.
just don't.
You start to ask the questions. Shh. No.
The answer is from a deity or a deity servant. So it's been the shadow dragon itself. So, one of its underlings.
It gives you a look really?
And just shakes its head.
That I was going to say that's not entirely appropriate to the Una, but if you're talking to the frickin' dragon, well.
Oh
no! To imagine I don't know what I'm reaching out to. It's just kind of a random.
Yeah. Going like, hey, dude, nah, trust me, I've tried everything.
Oh.
You can't lock this girl down. I've been trying to become Voss's uncle for years.
My step uncle.
Don't you bring that evil into this world.
Not canon.
You had like a spray bottle.
Yeah.
We do need a spray bottle for Josiah. We need a device set up that I can press a button and it sprays him. And then also chat can submit, 50 bits to spray him as well.
Oh my god, that is amazing. I actually really love it.
Remember, Josiah, from now on, you have to wear only white t-shirts.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't own any other colors of t-shirt. Except for the one that says "You died," and I will never wear that to a stream again.
Yeah, no. In terms of other prep, is there anything that we need to do?
No, I will encode that thought, like of me like, casting the divination spell, and just give it to Voss. Be like, I tried.
Oh.
It was an attempt. It was made.
Voss is like, what are gifts?
Yeah. Just like, I mean, I'm not surprised. But at least
I can cast that spell, by the way, Brakath. Our intelligent party member. If you have any questions you want to ask about the upcoming summit.
Oh,
We can do it like once. We can do it once a day as we're traveling.
It won't, you could do that on the way, because it's a more than 7-day journey at current beetle pace. Yeah.
So I do have the money to cast it. 7
I've
times.
got money.
I can help you spend that money. That's not a
Sugar
problem.
daddy.
I just spent 250 gold on potions and I'm still flush, so we're good.
I literally don't think Rofi has had more than 20 gold this entire campaign.
We do not trust
Rofi
Rofi
is not trusted with money. Yeah, that is not a surprise.
Rofi just does not have money. It's great.
Rofi
fair,
is
though.
too scatterbrained.
Like I think all the projects you've wanted to fund have been funded.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
yes.
no, he just goes and
We
goes,
pay for it.
money please.
Yeah.
It is
Money.
a money please. It's a Mona Lisa Saperstein situation. Yes, I remember that character's name. I don't know why either. But I do.
Kato, though. Impossible to remember.
Kato isn't in there.
Anything else you want to do, Brakath? And think about questions you want to ask.
Well, I mean, I'm going to let Kato know about the spider people, the Chitine, vacating, because that does seem suspicious that they've just vanished after we had Spider Lady spawn and run away. Nothing suspicious to see here, obviously.
That's paranoia.
Yes, it is. Weird voice in my head.
Paranoia.
It's not paranoia if it's right.
Who said that? I'm always paranoid. What?
It's only paranoia till they attack.
I would really like Deep One Warlock Rakath is a conspiracy theorist.
Have you been watching the last 20 episodes of Narashiro Nights?
I mean, I guess this has just been one conspiracy after the other, but
he is the conspiracy.
You also are part of a lot of conspiracy theories yourself.
He is the conspiracy theorist that's right, is the problem. Because he's convinced himself that they aren't conspiracy theories because he's been right enough times that now anytime he has a paranoia about anything, he's going to think that he's right about it. Very dangerous.
Yeah, that is actually...
So he's going to go and let Kato know. It's a very quick conversation. Just going to basically say, this is what my spies told me, blah, blah, blah. They seem to be blah, 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 whatever. And basically that we should wipe out any of the remaining Chitine in the city just to make sure that they don't have any networks or avenues back in. And we should also close up any avenues into the city from the underground just to make sure that they don't have any actual avenues back into the city.
Rakath is aware that is likely impossible.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But he's just saying at least keep away guarded as much as possible and keep people, informed. Just basically, he's saying that he's going to post up some spies to keep watch on as many entrances into the city as possible, and she should do the same.
Okay.
Other than that, let's leave.
Are you all ready for a
I'm gonna bring my
journey?
Sun Elf skull with me.
Good
I'm
idea.
bringing,
Yeah.
I'm bringing the bastard swords. I'm bringing.
Genuinely very sensible.
Well, I was
Thing
good
of,
to ask questions.
I'm also
Thing of
bringing
note-
all of the wanted posters.
Hinonio has her own beetle that she will be taking. So you will have a little caravan. She has an armored beetle.
Ooh.
Your beetle has one storage crate and nothing else. Other than the regular, like, stirrups and things. She's actually got a... I've travelled in the wilderness with an army. This is almost a tank. It's a war elephant, but it's a beetle, essentially.
We should get Scritches some armor.
Yeah, Scritch is gonna get jealous.
Draco, can we get Scritch's armor?
What is Scritches?
Scritches is our beetle.
You named the beetle.
Yeah, of course.
That's weird.
I mean, you named me.
I defined you.
Unfortunately, the name stuck. You named me.
And I feel the name Scritches also defines him.
It's not wrong.
I think
I'm
that
gonna give
is
Scritches a high five.
defiantly wrong. Scritches does know high five. You totally can. He's actually down to get you armor for
Hell yeah. That's the prep we needed.
The thing is I need it's gonna be expensive.
Draco can afford it.
He might,
We are
he
setting
might
up
buy
Draco
you
for
some
the
cheap
ultimate
armor. If you want to buy some better
how
armor.
much are
I'm
the
doing
types
the
of
I'm
armor?
doing the monster math right
Yeah.
now. Okay.
Okay,
Regular
cool.
barding is 4 times the cost. This is an even bigger than average boy, so it would be 8 times the cost. And 8 times is enough for me to get the calculator out on Windows. So
Oh no.
you know, starting with hide. That's just 80 gold. Nah, you can't. I don't even think hide would be pretty.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do it.
Hide is decorative.
You really need
That's-
heavy
yeah,
armor or worse. So
If it's 8 times.
So for Splint, it's only 1,600. It's not, you know, completely
It's not
unreasonable.
terrible.
That's not bad.
For what
Hide
would count.
Hide doesn't make any sense to me because beetles already have a carapace, right?
They have
Yes, that's why I kind of said like, yeah, that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
It would look neat, and you would definitely see people do that. A full set of basically this kind of tank armor, but it would be actually nicer than Hinonio's, is 12,000 gold. It's very rarely done because when people want a war beetle, they get a different breed.
Splint
that
is
makes
probably
sense.
Splint is
Yes.
appropriate, I think, for what we need.
Splint would be a nice little extra bit of
So
protection. and it
how
would
much is
also-
Draco going to be putting in for that?
Scritches deserves armor.
He would pay half.
He would pay half. Okay. How much do we have collectively?
I don't have anything else other than what I have to cast my divination
Right.
spells. Unfortunately.
How much
You
do you
guys
have
had a
20
bunch of
gold?
money at some point. Where did that all go?
20 gold.
We've been
Right,
spending
what
it. We haven't gotten
points
paid
do
in
you-
a while.
I have 7 gold.
Rakath is
I have 700 on me presently.
I do
So
have 6 silver as well.
I have 175.
I have
'cause
6
we
gold.
we did put 2,500 into savings, as it were, with House
That's true.
Tabescos. So
So we did another week went by. So we do have 200 gold from potion sales, assuming that's still going on with our
Which-
civilization collapsing.
probably is even they're probably
Yeah,
even
no,
asking
that's
for
still
more.
going on.
Yeah.
That's like within Kato's domain. So
Okay.
I do have 375 then.
because
So
your
you're more than
civilization
now.
isn't collapsing anymore,
Yeah.
right?
It's fairly stable.
Especially now with the Weavers being there's still anarchists, right? Because the Weavers, as a united army, a lot of the people who you were seeing and I was describing as Weavers were really just people wanting an excuse to riot. The actual unified Weaver army was a very different group of people. So there's still anarchy. There's still spots of resistance that will be wiped out.
I think we should hold off on the armor for now.
Okay.
I agree.
Sure.
I think we should hold our money for bribery going into this.
Yeah, that's reasonable as well. Honestly. That was my thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to add 200 to mine, or do you want to add it to yours for the potions?
Oh, okay. I already put it in mine.
Cool.
Okay,
Perfect.
Oakley dokley.
How many potions did we have each from the supply we got?
One.
One
But then
each? Cool.
I have 5 more in my inventory on top of that. I just haven't distributed them yet.
You're also going to a city, so if you need more there, you can probably buy them.
Yeah.
So, with that, you can head off towards Kavanari. It's been quite a while since you've gone off on an excursion. You've gone on Beetleback.
What questions shall we ask?
Yes. First, a little bit of blurbish description as you travel south through the forests of the Underdark. Something you would notice different than the others, this would be something that particularly, Rakath and Voss would notice. The little settlements outside of Narashiro don't have Narashiro Guard anymore. They still usually have people like sheriffs or rangers, essentially. But you don't see the Narashiro army marching or Narashiro army beetles or spiders going anywhere. Everything is locked up inside the city, which makes sense, but that doesn't mean that life isn't continuing out the city. Trade is still going on, although this time of year, not that much. You're traveling south mostly on, actually, defined roads. You're going between one city and another, and the path used to be one of the ways that would connect towards the Deep Dwarf Kingdom as well, although not the more common route used by traders. You travel through the fungal forest, but there's always a very well-defined, carved-out road. It's not like some of the smaller roads you took towards, House Nor, where, okay, like, a fungal tree has just bloomed and expanded over the road, and we're gonna have to take a detour. No, it is always very straight, very clear. You occasionally see straight-up guard towers, which, in the Underdark, are not just a little wooden thing people... No, they're like spires of rock. Often spiked, they are dramatic, they're metal album covers. All of this in the rain, you're traveling the smell of rain when you're in the wilds of the heavy metals is very, you almost forget it, it's so prevalent. But you don't smell it so much in the city because a lot of the city is designed to not allow the toxic rain to build up. When you're out, you're careful. You might even have Rofi set up kind of essentially an umbrella on the back of Scritches. I nearly called Scritches Bodles. Very different.
Very different thing.
Very different. It's as you're starting to get to terrain you've never been to before. You're staying... The road is close to the cavern walls. The fungal forest is starting to die down. It's still very much, fungal pathways and things, but it's not dynamic, glowing mushrooms that tower up to the heavens. No, it's a little bit more sparse. You actually notice more wildlife. It's when a pair of underfoxes with their glowing blue fur bounces before the party that you're more than halfway there, so you can start doing your divinations and thinkings and plannings and plottings and anything you want to do during the journey.
So,
I will swap. I was just going to say, I will swap my guns element from acid to thunder because I had overcommitted on acid last time in the hopes that we would fight constructs. So I'm switching it to thunder.
Technically.
Now we will.
We did, just not things that were weak against acid.
All right, William.
Yes.
I think we should ask what the goals are for each group.
I think that's a reasonable plan. The other question that was worth asking from my point of view is who will be our largest opposition?
Ooh, good one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's probably the biggest one. Who's going to be our largest opposition?
Question 1.
Okay. Are you officially asking this question?
I'm officially asking that question.
You're burning the incense.
Who is our largest opposition going into these peace talks?
The one who is not what they seem.
Great. All right, and how many groups are there?
You didn't ask, Draco. That would have been a great thing to sort of... You
know
know the Treaty of the Deep in general, right?
We know like the Abimari.
Yeah, you know I can give you the in general. One of the things I kind of expected you'd look up would be the specifics, like spend some time to do that. But in general, it's the Abimari, the dwarves, the gnomes, and you know that Rofi's race, the Darklings, have some kind of representation, but you also know it's not to the degree of the others. But it's mostly
the gnomes are 2 groups, right?
The gnomes are 2 groups because we are also attempting to bring in the Azad Enclave.
The gnomes,
that was one of the letters that I sent out.
Because this is something that Rakaf actually researched extensively. The gnomes that are part of the Enclave they represent all deep gnomes, but not all deep gnomes are actually represented by them. They are often called the Dalian Tal, but really you can just refer to them as the deep gnomes. They are essentially one enclave that reaches out to the others, but the other 2 enclaves you actually know are not represented, and you know there's a lot more that aren't. But because how secretive deep gnomes were beforehand, this is kind of the best situation they had, instead of actually reaching out to all of them specifically. Because you know there's a bit more, you know that the deep gnomes usually deal with technology in the treaty.
Gotcha. Alright, so I assume we have a week, we have 7 days?
You have a week until you get there, yeah. This is the second of 2 weeks, essentially.
Okay. So, the Abimari, what do they want? What are their primary goals going into these talks? I'm casting the spell.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
You put in your dream token, and you probably do sort of enter a dream state while casting this, honestly. They are content.
Oh. Alright.
Same
Which
question
is good
for
brain
the dwarves,
eating.
presumably.
Yeah, so the dwarves.
Yeah.
Same question for the dwarves. What are their goals? Yes.
Going into these talks.
Yeah. You're being... You don't want a monkey's paw. I get it.
Correct. Yes.
Well, also, like, it's supposed to be like a single question because like a specific goal.
Yeah, you can't do a broad one. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, so I can't say like what are their goals for the race?
What are their aspirations? What are their desires? No, exactly.
What do they dream? What are they going to be when they grow up?
You're doing it right. Dwarves want war.
Ooh. Interesting. We don't know with who.
We don't know with whom.
That's something we can suss out. So I guess the same question for the gnomes then.
Yeah. Do we want to separate up the gnomes, like into deep gnomes and then like paradise?
No, we're only going to deal with those who are represented.
You're just dealing with the core group, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay.
You kind of know what because you actually know Paradise. Like, just to remind you, Paradise had no real interest of being in with the Treaty of the Deep because they were already allied with Narashiro. Yeah. And they don't have much that they can really help towards the war effort, but it's turned out that the Treaty of the Deep has become more of a less war-based as time's gone on. Yeah. That's the situ.
We also kind of know where they stand. They're not really necessarily interested one way or the other, but anything that brings in profit, they'll be fine with, essentially. So if we're promising a war effort, we just are basically going to be introducing a whole lot of new people and a whole lot of new soldiers into Paradise.
Yeah.
So they'll be fine. And the Azad Enclave, we're also pretty confident on there, and they want to be producing and selling weaponry. So
war can be super profitable.
Exactly. They're both going to be fairly happy. I don't think we need
they were selling a lot of Aether Crystal, weren't they?
They were.
That'll definitely be useful.
Which, especially if your ideas for weaponry are things we can do, which is developing those batteries to essentially make charge rifles. Separate issue.
So the deep gnomes.
Yeah.
What do they want?
Buffering. You'll get your response in 2 to 6 business days.
This is where the D&D tooltips are displayed.
Yeah.
We're waiting for it to load.
No, I
the
thought
response
the gods would be quick.
The thing is you're not a priest, so your divination is going to the switchboard. You got to get the right. It's a whole thing.
There's like a oh fucking not again.
The response you get is gnomes want crystal and metal.
Okay.
They want crafting materials. They want raw materials. That's interesting. Do they not have raw materials?
They do, but they expanded into territories that aren't their own to get it. So that's maybe a conversation that will need to be essentially building a bridge between them and the dwarves, in theory.
From what you already know about Vidali and Tal, the core deep gnomes, the thing they do on their own is mine. Yeah. They don't really necessarily care what they do with it. They mine. They mine a lot.
So
in the treaty, they're more technology specialists because no one else was as good at this. But as also giving resources and stuff. But they already mine a lot. You've actually seen them mining when you're traveling multiple times.
I'm also going to ask, what does Narashiro want?
Narashiro wants
kind of
revenge.
Like what is? Oh, okay.
That's. I wonder if that's a reading
nice
directly from Rakat's soul or not. That's potentially just directly from him.
Okay.
Next question I would suggest is who is not as they seem. Like who very specifically, like that. We need to figure out how to ask that.
You need to sort that one out.
Yeah, that's one I suggest that we do get a little bit more information on, so that we can actually be wary of it.
Do we want to hold off on that question for now? Until, like,
I think this will be question 6, whatever we ask, in terms of leading up to. So we have 2 questions remaining presently.
Right.
You don't have to use them all. You can get to the city and work some more stuff out now. You got a lot of information.
What I would suggest we ask is, what I would suggest we ask very specifically is, from which faction do we need to fear the individual who is not as they appear?
From which faction do we most need to fear the individual who is not as they seem?
Is that your final answer?
That's one of the final answers. If we get a bunk question, then we have one more.
I know. Okay. Press send. Swoosh.
Boom. Boom. Boom.
God is typing.
When reaching out to a god through the divination spell, you may wish to present an offering that is best suited to that god in particular.
I actually will take this opportunity to describe something you feel when you cast this spell. What you may have thought when you sort of set it up is a heightening, but you actually feel your soul dropping every time you cast it. Like you're just about to fall into a deep trance. It's a sinking feeling. It's not entirely pleasant. But you're weird and
I
might
need to
like
figure out
that.
how to move my soul elsewhere.
Yeah.
To where it's safer.
Oh! Really?
I need to start working on that.
I think they have a word for that. Phylactery? Phylactery.
we're
I
not-
think.
Oh,
We don't have to brand it, okay?
Yeah, we're
It'll be
not
called
going to use this.
Yuna's
loaded
special
terminology.
box.
oh
Here's
no.
a question. Can Yuna use Voss as her phylactery and vice versa? So that as long as we don't both die, we're essentially immortal?
Interesting.
In theory.
Like, can we just trade souls?
Huh.
That
Okay,
is
Voldemort.
terrifying.
Actually, while we're on the subject, Ollie, you don't have to come up with an answer for now. But what would happen if I cast soul gem spell, whatever it is called?
Essence Trap.
Essence trap on myself, right? Killed myself with it, right? And then Ropey had the Revivify prepared for me.
You don't know.
I don't know. Alright.
Pretty sure that's the plot of a Netflix original.
Just a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what? Yeah, no, that'd be bad.
That's certainly a project I want to pursue.
The thing is, I think Revivify specifically needs the soul.
It does
The
not.
reason why it has
It
to be
needs the
doesn't.
body.
It doesn't. It
It
just
does
needs
not
the
need
body.
the soul.
The response you get.
Yes, good.
Oh yeah.
We asked a
Very
question.
They are not born of their race.
That's actually very good information.
Ooh.
I mean, it could be the Ebamari, but they are content, right?
It
think I
could
know
be
it.
Ebamari, or it could be someone posing
This
as
guy.
someone
So,
from a
do
different
you
race. Yeah.
remember early on when
Do
we
you remember?
were dealing? Yes. Do you remember when early on we were dealing with the incursion of the Ebamari? Very specifically, they were asking us about a particular insurgent situation. That is very likely what we're going to be dealing with.
Could be like a changeling or something.
Could be a changeling.
Yeah.
They are not.
Things are
born
different
with their race.
in
Something you could also ask would be, since we have one question left, unless we can think of something more pertinent.
Well, we can
I
also
was
ask
gonna
when we're there
follow up.
too. in
I was
theory.
going to follow up with that question to see like if somebody is in disguise.
If you
Okay.
task this question today, you will arrive at the city without a spell slot.
I think. Wait. Let's have one backup.
Well, no, I would still have all my spell slots as
It's a ritual.
It is a ritual spell.
Mm.
You could ask
Okay.
who will be our
That makes sense
greatest-
because I looked at it and I'm like, one action? What? No, this makes much more
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
What could I ask?
You
Josiah?
could ask who would be our greatest ally in terms of making connections with people. Our most useful ally. Because just because someone likes us doesn't mean they'll be
Useful
Yeah.
would be the best word.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Who would be our most useful ally?
Unfortunately, they are deceased.
God damn it, Lithura. Why'd you have to go and die in an explosion?
Okay, cool. We got a lot of information there.
You did, yeah. Those are some
Please.
smart questions.
I enjoy spells that let me just ask the damn questions.
Yeah.
I do too.
Or
That's
tell
why I
the
made
DM
Ian a
so.
class about it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay. With that, you're about to arrive at Cavanari. I think this is a good opportunity to take an early break so that we're all very prepared for this
Betrayal.
place.
At Baldur's Gate.
Legally, I'm required to disagree with that.
Yes.
We'll be back.
I can't wait
In
to
a
find the
moment.
demon.